Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Kazimir and welcome back to another video. So last time what I did was I did a um overall semantic SEO audit for like based on this sheet, like like this portion of the sheet, based on this for nomadicsoft.io. So this is software development company, and if you haven't seen that video, you can check that out in the videos section in Facebook or on YouTube. So yeah, today I am going to try to do a semantic content audit based on this audit sheet, where I have like 31 writing rules based on Koray's framework. So but Koray has like over 200 writing rules, but I took only like 31, just to make it quick and easy for anyone who is trying to implement semantic SEO to their content or to the website overall. So yeah, let's get started. And I have picked a random blog, but this one is pretty good. That's why I actually chose it from this website. And the blog post name is like the ultimate guide to bespoke software development and unlocking custom software solutions. So yeah, so let's start with the first one of the checklist. So the single macro context. So a full web page should have a single macro context or a single focus that presents that what you are going to talk about to the whole website, like or to the whole web page. For example, this blog post should talk about bespoke software development. Otherwise, if they talk about bespoke software development at the first section, then they talk about Python or any other things without mentioning bespoke software development, the main macro context will be lost. So if we check here about bespoke, and if we try to see that if it is appearing throughout the page, then we can definitely say that this is appearing throughout the page, and they have a proper single macro context. And I can see that you can see that they have presented this macro context throughout the page, which means that they did a pretty good job on keeping the focus on a single macro context. So I hope this makes sense, and this single macro context or single term should appear in the H1 or the title at the same time. So yeah, it is appearing throughout the web page, which is a good sign. So yeah, the next one is definition and head words, like main terms defined early as possible. So if you are talking about Python or any other thing or any other software language or anything related to your niche, for example this one, they are talking about bespoke software development. But what is bespoke? You have to define it as early as possible at the very first portion of your content, so that Google can understand what you are actually talking about. So if you define and that your definition kind of connects with their knowledge base or knowledge domain, then you are doing something that Google really understand, and you are not making it confused, making it feel confused when they come to crawl your web page or website. So yes, they did a pretty good job, and what they did is they defined what is bespoke software development. But the thing is, we in Semantic SEO, we actually answer one question at a time. So what they did was they put two questions together, which I don't recommend. And we in Semantic SEO, what we do is we would talk about what is bespoke software development, and we would talk about everything and define it, and then how does it work, or how does it differ from other solutions, and then we can talk about it in the later headings. So yeah, this can be changed. And the next one is question headings and answer in the same format. So what we do in the Semantic SEO is we try to create every heading in a question format, like almost every heading, not every heading. Like if you're talking about benefits or types, we don't make those headings in questions. That would be weird. But if you are like talking about what is what you are talking about bespoke software development, some people, what they would do is they would just write that bespoke software development, and they would not make it a question format like they did. What is bespoke software development, or how does it differ from off-the-shelf solutions? So yeah, what we do is we try to create a heading in a question format, so that Google can easily create like every time Google crawls the site, they try to create the headings into a question format, so that they can connect it with the actual query of the people they are asking or searching on Google. So we kind of try to make the process easy for Google, so that they don't have to cost they don't have to pay more money to try to convert a heading to question. So we do it for them, so that we can save some money for cost of retrieval or information retrieval, so that we can appear on Google in less less costlier way. So yeah, that's what we do. And then we do answer the same format. Like if the question is bespoke, so what is bespoke software development, or what is software development, then we start with software development is this, that. So the first one, they did that, they did it properly. Like in the question format, they start with bespoke software development is creating this and that. Let's see if they did in the second one. What are the advantages of bespoke software has key advantages? They started with this, but the sentence was kind of like unfinished. Like bespoke software development has key advantage. Like what they could do is like bespoke software development has key advantages, and that includes, like, they can include some of the advantages like in a summarized way, so that the starting sentence was would be proper, then what potential disadvantages of so they should start like bespoke software development at disadvantages includes. So yeah, they could do that, but they started with bespoke software development, bespoke software has many benefits. So yeah, they could consider this, and they can change this, like how to choose bespoke software development company. So they could start like to choose bespoke software development company, do this like something like that. They can start the first sentence something like that, so that the question format and the answer format is like the similar, so that Google can crawl super easily, and it can also appear on ChatGPT or other LLMs as well. So yeah, that can be done in this web page. And then the directness and brevity. Definitive answer appears immediately, not delaying. Like I said, if you are defining something, you have to define it at the first sentence. If you are talking about software development, you have to define it at the very first sentence. Not like there was a time there was no software in 19 something, and then the software development comes, and what is software development, that is this and that. We don't talk this much. We just start with the definition first, so that Google can easily crawl it, and then we can have a chance on ranking on LLMs or on Google. So yeah, the next one is always give a definition before the list. So if you are ever giving a list, then you should give a definition or a summary of the list in the very first sentence. Like I said, we're talking about the advantages. So what they could do is bespoke software development advantages includes, and you can summarize all the benefits you are going to mention in the next in the list, and that would be your list definition, which will help Google to summarize your list in easier format, so that they can either show it on snippets like in a paragraph format, or they can also choose the list coming below. So you give both of the opportunities to Google. The next one is list and listicles. Use ordered or unordered HTML. So yeah, you have to present your list in an unordered way or an ordered way. For example, if you say that the steps of creating software is there are 5 steps of creating software. So if you put them in a list, but if you do it in an unordered way, then that would not be a good thing to do, because you have mentioned steps. So if you do it in this way, like first step is that, or step 1 is that, step 2 is that, then that would be a good list format. Okay, but if it is just benefits, then what you can do is you can do it in unordered way. That would be a proper way of doing it, because 1, 2, 3 is not required here. You can do it unordered, and I think that would be a better thing to do. The next one is annotation text. Every time you present the list, you give the definition and now, or the summary, then you have to present the annotation text, so that they can also appear put the list on the snippets. The annotation text is something like this. Is this the advantages of bespoke software are listed below, the benefits of software development are listed below. This is the annotation text. So they don't mention the annotation text, and they don't also give the list. So what they could do is, in these kind of sections where there is a list should be there, or Google would show list in these cases, then what they could do is they could easily create a list here, and they should give a list definition, then an annotation text, then the list in a ordered way or unordered way. That's a good thing to do. The next is similar, the tables and tables definition. If you give a definition, if you present a table, you have to give a definition to the table, or summarize the table at the very first sentence, then give the annotation text, like they have table, I think, but they didn't provide any list definition, I think. Long-term cost effectiveness. So this table is not understandable from the perspective, this is not easy to understand, like what question are you answering in this case. So they are I think answering in a bigger question, like the advantages. In this smaller section, they are presenting a table, but what they could do is they could present a table over here and say that these are the advantages in table format. So if they would do that, what they could do is they could present, like I said, a table definition and a table annotation text, like the advantages of software development are mentioned in the below table, something like that. And they can also, they have some pretty cool, sometimes they use pretty cool images. What they could do, they could also use an annotation text for those images, so that Google can easily understand that there is an image below, and the image is about this. So the image is about software development or bespoke software development process. So what they could do is they could present an annotation text, like the process of bespoke software development is presented in the image below. So that should be proper for Google or any other LLMs to understand that what this image is about, why it is here, and what it is about, what is, or what this image presents. So this is kind of like the annotation text and summarizing thing is about. Then mentioning entities and NER. So every time you use a major organization's name like PubMed or maybe WebMD or Business Insider, like they are major websites, if you can mention them, that is a good sign that you are mentioning some big industry leaders, and you are taking knowledge from them. Then Google thinks. So if you mention like major corporations or companies, like if those type of industry leaders, what Google thinks that you are mentioning some leaders, then you are definitely an authority and you are taking knowledge from major leaders. So it is a good practice to mention major entities or major leaders that are in your industry right now. They are on Google, or they are publicly known. You have to mention those names and take their take their quotes or take their research data in this in your webpage. I don't know if they mentioned any good type of entity like those. But if you are mentioning this type of entities or NER, named entity recognition, then you have to put this name clearly, but you don't have to give backlinks, or you don't have to link them back. So in the Semantic SEO, what we do is we try to preserve our link juice as much as possible. We don't give the link juice to anyone else, but we just include their name in our content, and that is sufficient to give them credits, or include their names and the quote in the quotation mark. So yeah, that's what we do. We don't give backlinks to anyone, because we try to preserve our link juice as much as possible to ourselves. So I couldn't find any research here that easily, but it is a good practice to mention good quality research or good quality what is it called, like quotes from experts, so that Google can connect your entity to them, so that you are connected to multiple different type of major entities. The next one is the numeric evidence. So as I said, like Google try to see that if you included like good quality research data in here, and if you mention numeric value, it is easier for Google to collect those numbers instead of words. So for Google or any LLM, it is easier to extract or crawl numbers rather than words. So if you can mention like words like this percent of this is that, or this is like a like two of these, like 2 3 10%, 90%, something like that, statistics. If you can mention this type of things, then it makes your content high quality. So try to include as much as research, and like the next one is also say the statistics and research citations as much as possible. You use the site researches and statistics as much as possible. So the next one is perspective richness. So if you can see that people are searching a query for men, they also should search that for women, and also maybe sometimes they search for kids and pets. For example, drinking water. I don't know if this is about something like that. For example, if you're talking about software development, you can talk about small business, medium-sized business, and large business. So if you talk this type of multiple different perspective or multiple different industries, then your content becomes more rich in perspective. So if that is something that is possible to do, then in this type of web pages or blog posts, you should do it. Either from the perspective of small business, large business, or either from the perspective of gender, or perspective of types of beings like pets or humans, something like this. All right, guys. Sorry for the weird cut. I got busy with so many things. Yeah, let's get started one more time. So yeah, we were like a perspective richness. I think I mentioned it. I think it was done. The next one was sentence structure and word order. So anytime you mention a sentence, like especially when it comes to giving advantages or benefits or some sort of listicles, for example, here we have like the advantages or benefits of bespoke software development for a business. So every time you mention a advantage or a benefit, if you can possibly start it with a predicate or a verb, that would be a good thing to crawl for Google or any LLMs. So for example, here they mentioned the tailored solution, then scalability and flexibility, long-term cost effectiveness. So what they could do is they could start with a predicate or a verb, like enjoy tailored solution or custom solution, get a custom software, something like some sort of verb that you can start with, like you know the ChatGPT use like words like boost and stuff like that, boost your ROI, something like that. If you can start with a predicate, that would be a great way to put everything in a similar way, instead of just
going like tailored to scalability long term. Just start with a verb, then everything will be connected. Like everything is starting with a verb, and then it is going to be easier for the machine to understand what you are talking about. The next one is avoiding the modal verbs, like like when it comes to will and should. When it comes to factual claims, you cannot use like will or should. So you have to use like I don't know if they used something like this one. Let's see. Uh, this will ensure your software meets evolving needs. Like with your will foster, a reliable development partner will assist you. Like instead of saying will assist you, you can say that a reliable development partner can assist you. Like something so sure. The sentence should be sure, and instead of using should, will, maybe, you have to be certain and sure, so that it shows confident to Google instead of like dilly dally. If you can present yourself an expert, if you want to present yourself as an expert, you have to present your words in a certain way, in a sure way, so that they can see you as an expert. So the readers and Google can see you as an expert. So you have to use like certain words. Like for example, here is an example that the sun rises every day. The sun will rise tomorrow. Instead of saying that, you can say the sun rises every day. That's certain. So yeah, I think this makes sense to you. I hope. The next one is like if and conditional placement. Like if you want to mention if, for example, um, software can help you secure your payment gateway or something for your business, and then if you want to mention about something, if you don't do that, then something else will happen, or if you want to mention like something like let's say what do X if it becomes B. Like instead of saying that if you start implementing proper software development, then you will get a proper result. Instead of saying starting with an if, like you have to start with something like do this, and then this will happen, and if you don't, or if you do that, something else will happen. Don't start with if. Put that if in the later sentence, or last part of the sentence. Start with something like a certain sentence. So the next one is analogy. We try to avoid analogies, like imagine this, picture this. We don't do like this type of I know this is also used by ChatGPT, but when it comes to crawling, if you use analogy, it is quite hard for them to understand that what we are talking about. Either we are actually talking about facts, or we are just imagining things. So we cannot say some words like that. So instead of saying that, use certain words. Instead of saying imagine this, you just skip those sentences. Like for example, the next one says fluff and contextless words. We try to remove those type of words, like for example, uh, this one more there is one more fact about electric cars. Like there is one more fact about electric cars that every driver should know. This type of sentence, it is good for copywriting, but when it comes to talking to a machine, if you write this will take so much more cost for them to understand that what you are going to talk about instead of what you are talking about. So if you are certain that if you could write like charging time varies by charger type, like X charger are 5% faster than Y charger, like just certain what you are talking about. So like using imagine or fluffy words that are there, that don't make any sense or don't need in the content. So skip those words, so that the cost of retrieval is low, and you get better chance on ranking. So the next one is co-reference and pronouns. So minimizing co-reference, like pronouns, try to minimize your pronouns. Like try to mention the actual entity. Like for example, software development can help you grow your business. Instead of saying that, sometimes we can say in the content that it can change your way of doing business or something. Instead of saying it, try to mention software development. You don't have to be all the time using software development, but try to use less pronouns, and try to use more entities as much as possible, naturally. Okay. So the next one is semantic closeness. So this when it comes to semantic closeness, this is kind of hard to mention. Like if you are talking about if this software development gives you better results, like software development is creating individual solution for a business unique. So if you want to be for example, if you want to talk about how software development can help a small business, try to mention software development and small business at the same line, or in this kind of same paragraph, so that it is easier for Google or any other LLMs to crawl. Like you are talking about software development, and you're also talking about say, small business or large business, any type of business, then it is easier to connect the entity. So if you can connect or try to use this type of terms or entities closer or semantically closer to your paragraphs, instead of saying like software development very top and then small business somewhere below anywhere. So you can use the semantic closeness to get better results when it comes to ranking. So I don't know if I could find anything from this content, but I just wanted to mention this, and this can help in any content for them or for any business. So yeah, the next one is the unique n-grams. Include unique phrases, combinations, and repeat key n-grams at start and the end. So try to include unique n-grams in the intro and the outro. So your n-grams or possible terms or keywords should be kind of similar, so that they can be bind like from the top to bottom. There can be a binding type of things that Google can, if they just read the intro and the outro, they can understand what you are talking about. All content is like connected. So they talked about in the intro about software development, bespoke software development, individual solutions, and cheap and quick deploy, flexible, scalable. So these type of terms they used. Let's see, they are using this type of terms in the outro. uh, so I think they mentioned it, but if they would focus some more, like they mentioned about in the intro about cheap and quick and user satisfaction and team management and stuff. I don't see those type of words, but I see ROI and management software, and sometimes they mentioned about custom software. So if they could focus on this, then this will be a better binded software. Better binded content from top to bottom, just so that it is uniquely connected through n-grams, and semantically connected from top to bottom. Then the internal linking thing in our Semantic SEO or Koray framework, we try to internal link from the bottom of the content, so that Google or any other crawler can and read the content as much as possible without getting any distracted. If you put any internal link or external link anywhere in the macro area or the top area, they will come and they will go to this content where you mentioned the link, and they will go to that content. They will come back and they will read the rest. So instead of doing this thing, what you can do is you have to put the internal links at the very bottom of the content, so that they can easily crawl the whole content as much as possible. Then they can go wherever you want them to go. So I think they mentioned some internal links at the very top, somewhere I have seen. Let's see if I can find them. So here, I think this is a macro area. You can see that this is a top portion of a content. We don't necessarily do it. We try to put them in the very bottom of the content, so that the crawlers can easily go there without any distraction. Sometimes people use so many internal links that they get distracted. So we don't want the crawlers to get distracted. We want the crawlers to read the content as much as possible. So we try to put the internal links at the very bottom of the content. And we also use the anchor text that is mentioned in the next content, like the next content where we are interlinking, that talks about web development. Our anchor text in this content should be web development, so that it is also connected. The internal link is also connected to the H1 of the next article. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I don't know. So they also, I think, mentioned about the internal links. Mentioned some internal links at the bottom. Like for example, they are direct to customer e-commerce website development. Let's see. Yeah, there. Yeah. You can see that in the URL below, it is mentioning that ultimate guide to direct to consumer e-commerce website development. So yes, they are also mentioning some article that is mentioning this anchor here. So yeah, this is a good practice they are following. So but what I would do is I would put all the internal links at the very bottom of the page. So yeah, and then the supplementary content separation. So what we do is we have a main content or macro context, and supplementary content where there is a bridge, like contextual bridge, where we put the main content at the very top area, and then we mention a bridge, and then we go to an area where we can talk about our business. Like for example, if this is a software development company, we talk about anything related to software development. Like for example, we are talking about bespoke software development company, but if we never mention our company, we cannot link it. But we are going to mention our company at the very bottom, by giving it a bridge, like from the main content, the bridge, and then the supplementary content. So I cannot really mention which one is the bridge here, but I think this one is a good bridge. Like not this one. How can a business ensure benefit, and what are some real world examples? Like this can be kind of like a bridge, like they were talking about bespoke thing and how it works. Then all of a sudden they are talking about example, and when it comes to example, they will have to show their own example, and then they can mention that we also do this type of stuff, and they can send it to their service pages or their product pages. So I think this is their bridge, and I think this is pretty cool. If they focus on this a bit more, then I think the question or the heading would be better. The next one is bolding the answer. Sometimes what we do is when we try to answer the question, we try to bold out the entity. Like for example, what is bespoke software development? They bolded the entity. But what we do in Semantic SEO, we try to bold out the actual answer that bespoke software development is creating individual solution for a business's unique needs. I think we would bold it out this portion of the sentence, because Google wants to see which one is the answer, not the entity. They know the entity, they just want the answer so that they can connect it to their knowledge domain. So yeah, that's what we do, and they can improve it in this section. Then the images and the alt text, they don't mention so many. I don't know if what is their alt text. I'm going to ignore that, and the schema and the tone. I'm going to go to the tone and brand consistency. So the, sometimes when writing blogs, we traditionally, what we know, we have to be playful, we have to be friendly, and that is good for copywriting. But when it comes to SEO, if you want to rank and you want to connect with the machines like Google and other LLMs, then you have to talk in terms, like in words like they use, like formal tone. Like it is easier for them to understand the formal tone than a regular tone. So if you use like a bit hard or harsh words, then it will be easier for them to see you as an expert, because they see those words and expert words, because university professionals and many other major websites use those words. So try to use like a bit professional smart words that easily show you that you are an expert, instead of saying like hello, what's up, and stuff like that, you know. The next one is anchor and outbound link. So we try to avoid outbound link as much as possible. As I said, we try to reserve our link to us. So sometimes I think sometimes they mentioned outbound links, like not this one. I saw it somewhere that they mentioned an outbound other website they gave a backlink to, but we try to avoid that. So that we can reserve our link and just mention the entity if needed. So give examples after plural nouns. So if you are talking about any plural things, you have to mention an example. I don't know if they have mentioned any plural things. I have to go through more deeply, but let me just give you an example. So there are X type of flowers that grow in South Africa. So you mentioned flowers, so you have to give some examples, like few examples in the sentence, so that it is easier for Google and LLMs to crawl that what you are actually talking about. So flowers, then rose, like including rose, sunflowers, and tulips. So this type of sentence is very good for giving a list definition. I have mentioned list definition previously, so you can understand that when you are talking about something plural, multiple things like advantages, benefits, then you had to mention some portion of it, especially in a list definition or table definition, so that it is easier for the LLMs to crawl what you're talking about before just going to the real list. They can already understand what you're talking about, so it's kind of easier for them to understand the whole concept or the thing. So EEAT, we will use we as I in our content, but we try to use it after giving the proper definition or defining the thing. Like for example, if they want to mention about we do things and we do that, they have to put it in the supplementary content, so that they can actually show what their what the definition is about, what is bespoke software development, and how it works and stuff. Then they can mention we, I, EAT, and stuff. So it is we want the machine to crawl the actual knowledge or actual information first. Then we have to show them that we do stuff that connects, makes us expert. So we don't want to make them confused. We have to give the information first, then give them and show them the EAT. So I think I mispronounced some things and made mistakes and stuff, and the video was cut it in the middle. I'm so sorry for that. I hope this makes sense, and I hope someone who is trying to learn something new when it comes to semantic SEO and who is trying to implement some portion of it, you can do it from today and try to see how we do it, like in semantic SEO. Hope this helps. Hope this video was helpful, and let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, thank you for waiting for this long. Thank you.